What's up, everybody? It is your boy God Tier Gaming here for another video. Today we'll be reviewing Modern Warfare 2 2022, and the reason why is because I just got it early just so I can make this video, review it, and I'm gonna say right off the bat the review is pretty positive. There is spoilers though, so be warned of them spoilers. And also, if you guys could, before this video starts, like and subscribe on the video and even comment down below if you want, because I'm trying to hit 1,000 and get monetized on YouTube, and this video took me a minute to get completed. So if you guys could really just go down there and follow those steps, I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the video. So the way we'll be categorizing all of this and actually reviewing it is: one, story, the story of the actual game. That includes the characters and, you know, just the overall setting of the game. And two will be the gameplay, which includes, you know, the game itself and how it functions as a whole and how I felt playing it. So I think the first way to start off is probably the story. The story, for the most part, I actually genuinely enjoyed, and I was very interested in the story. There was a lot of plot twists, as Call of Duty does, a lot of, you know, portrayal, a story, and you actually get to care about the characters. It's really a real step up from Vanguard's campaign, where I didn't care about any of the characters whatsoever. I honestly forgot about most of their names, and I didn't even finish it because I was so bored with the story. Speaking of story, I will be spoiling some things about the campaign, not every intricate detail, but the summary of the plot and and when I go over the gameplay, I'll also be talking about, you know, the game mechanics and stuff, which I guess could count as spoilers. Anyway, the whole plot of the summary of the entire story legacy thing that's going on here is basically big evil Russian dude named Hassan has missiles from America. America obviously doesn't like that, and they send in a task force team to go stop Hassan. We play it as Ghost, Gaz, Alejandro, and Soap, and a few other people, and they try to stop the big man in the Russian chair. And this actually is really cool. I actually really liked all of the story. I'm going to say some parts were pretty slow, but the overall story by itself was amazing. I love how they integrated like the cutscenes, where the cutscenes were like a part of the actual game, like kind of like God of War, the newest one that came out, not Ragnarok, the older newest one that came out. That one where they integrated the cutscenes into the actual game, it was so flawless. No stuttering, no loading screens. The only time I ever encountered a loading screen was when I closed the game down and entered back into the actual game, right? That was the only loading screens I had ever gotten from the game, which was amazing. The game flows so well. Now, the characters I love. My favorite characters definitely had to be Soap, Alejandro, and Ghost, because their characters seemed the most fleshed out of all the characters. Not saying that the other characters weren't fleshed out. Actually, a good amount of them were pretty fleshed out. I guess the main four, though, it was mainly just Price, Alejandro, Graz, and Soap that were super fleshed out. They were the ones that got most of the spotlight, but still, even Laswell and Shepard and even some of the other people like Graves were pretty well done too. I actually really like their character designs and the overall story behind them, or not so much story, but the, you know, their characters. I like their characters as a whole. They all did a pretty good job. The voice acting was solid. There was really no issues with the voice acting at all. Everything sounded so believable and so good. There were no cheesy lines or anything like that, not to my knowledge at least. I found everything just absolutely flawless, and it was an overall thrill. The story, 10 out of 10. I gotta, well, actually, you know, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Maybe 10 out of 10 is too high. Story, definitely a solid 9 out of 10. Now, with the story out of the way, let's get on to the real thing that everyone's really thinking about. Actually, you know what? Story's still a pretty big part of it, which is great. But here's the real thing that people are really thinking about: the gameplay. The gameplay I thought was actually really good. For the most part, I encountered like almost zero glitches. I think I counted one glitch way off towards nearing the middle of the game, where we're trying to free Alejandro for the prison. At a certain point, I couldn't shoot my gun when I was supposed to be able to shoot my gun, and it ended up making me stuck, which really bad. That was not good, because I couldn't shoot my gun, so I was getting shot at, couldn't shoot my gun, only to find out that the reason why I couldn't shoot my gun was for some reason the game glitched when I had a certain grenade on me, and that one grenade wouldn't allow me to use my gun, so I had to switch the grenade. Other than that, it was pretty cool. I think the mechanics were really nice, how they integrated multiple different types of game mechanics throughout the story. It wasn't just the same repetitive gunplay the entire game. You had a crafting system in certain parts of of the game. Some other parts of the game you were in a helicopter or in a super plane. I don't remember the exact name of the plane that we were in, but at one point in the mission, and one of the missions, we were in a plane where you basically get to absolutely destroy people with missiles, grenade launchers, and super giant bullets. It was amazing. And in the stealth parts of the mission, which I didn't really stealth very much, I kind of just ran and just shot everything possible, unless it was impossible to get through the level without shooting someone. I would literally just try to shoot as many people as I could, because I personally find being stealthy boring, and that's for the weak. Who needs stealth when you have a gun? Am I right? That should be quoted. That should be a real quote right there. Anyway, like I said, there was no real glitches in the game. I thought the game was really solid. I really thought that the gunplay was really cool. I like the recoil in this game. I know some people have their grips with the recoil because, you know, they don't really like how high it is with certain guns. But I believe that's mainly because of the attachments. Now, the muzzle flash, oh my God, is it high? I can sometimes barely see in front of me, which is a problem, but also kind of adds to the realism of the game. So it's not super big of a problem in, let's say, like campaign, but I'm thinking in multiplayer that's gonna get super annoying. I really like the sniping portions of the game more than I think most people probably would, but I really like sniping enemies. If I found a sniper, I was gonna use it. It felt so satisfying. I wish that in the campaign, because I don't think this has ever been a feature in the campaigns of Call of Duty before, where you get to actually see the hit marker, because every times where I kill an enemy or keep shooting at the same enemy thinking they're still alive, and they're not because I already hit them, but I can't tell because all I get is this little tiny boop noise whenever I hit an enemy, which is very easily missable. Another cool thing was the integration of crafting systems. Now, I'm not sure if this is a campaign only mechanic or if this will actually be allowed in Warzone 2. I'm really excited to kind of see how that would work if it is in Warzone 2. I want to see how that would work, being able to craft items or basic traps. You know, that'd be really freaking cool. But I did think that portion of the game was both tedious and sometimes a little unfair, but because everyone, pretty sure most people would play it stealthy, you were supposed to be stealthing most of the time, because when those crafting sections came up, you did not have a weapon. But I decided to just not do that and do the exact opposite and do it the hard way and kill a soldier with one of the crafted knives that I made and take their weapon and start go guns a-blazing, because I'm stubborn like that. The armor mechanic in the game, which is introduced probably like the last 2 missions of the game, which is kind of sucky. I kind of wish that they had we got to play with the armor a bit more. The armor, pretty cool. Oh my God, if another car comes by, I'm going to lose my mind. The armor is pretty cool in the game. It basically works the same as Warzone armor. It just looks a little bit different. Nothing to really go crying home about. I kind of both hated and liked the armor enemies, but I'll go more into that when I talk about the things I don't like about the game. But so far, the gameplay, solid. The campaign is solid. And I really, really, really liked just the game overall. I completed it in like 2 days and a total of I think 5 hours, which pretty fast actually for my first time playing, especially with all the mistakes I kept making. But hey, that's how it be. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go into the section of where I now talk about what I didn't like about the story, and then I'm not gonna talk about what I didn't like about the gameplay. Okay, so the story sometimes was very slow, and I felt like it added on to missions that weren't really necessary. Like I said, this kind of goes into my gameplay don't likes, but the whole crafting system, while it was an interesting and cool idea, and I don't think it made the game bad at any point, it kind of seemed pretty useless, but it still was pretty good. Outside of that, though, I'm going to be honest with you, maybe I just wasn't looking hard enough, but I found close to 0 problems with the campaign of the game. Okay, I mean the story of the game. I really like the story. Okay, I didn't find any problems with it. But onto our gameplay section, there is a couple of problems, not many, but just a couple I didn't like about it. One was the AI. The AI, I was playing on normal mode, and it felt like I was playing on the hard difficulty, because every time you get shot, like sometimes you'll get shot for doing certain things. Like if I shoot an enemy when I'm not supposed to, I just get one tapped. That was annoying. If I went somewhere I was supposed to, I get one tap shot. Sometimes it wouldn't even be a screen where it was like, oh, don't go there. I just get shot. I'm like, who shot me? What happened, dude? That was annoying. And then also the armored enemies were the most frustrating things on the planet. I don't know why they were so strong, but literally the only way to kill them, I found out, is like the fastest way to kill them isn't even with normal guns, it's just with a sniper. Because even if you headshot them with like an assault rifle or a SMG, it does not do it as well as a sniper. You literally have to headshot them with a sniper for them to get out of your face. And it made the game sometimes a lot more hard than it was supposed to be. I also didn't like the parts of the game where we had like a bunch of civilians around. Like like I said, the one mission with the plane where you get to use the super plane and like blow all the enemies up. There was also civilians in that area. And if you so much as grazed the civilian, you'd freaking get a failed mission, and that was beyond frustrating. This is actually the main reason why I kept losing. I didn't get shot. The missiles that were targeted at the plane never hit me. I just kept accidentally hitting civilians, which was so dumb, and it was so annoying because why are you guys there? But no, in all honesty, it wasn't like it makes sense, I guess, but I feel like it should be a warning system like Assassin's Creed. When you like kill one civilian, it's like, hey, don't do that again or you're going to get a failed mission. But for them, it was like just one time, one civilian dead, that's it, game over, which was really frustrating. But outside of that, I don't think I really had any other problems with the game. There were certain boring segments, but outside of that, it wasn't really that bad. The game still was solid, and I still enjoyed playing the game. I enjoyed running around, killing enemies. One fun thing I noticed, not really fun, but one thing I noticed, I think the movement got tuned down a bunch. Now, I'm not sure if it's from the campaign or also the multiplayer as well, but I felt like bunny hopping was like significantly worse. Like, not worse in such as you couldn't do it, but well, actually, no, you literally could not bunny hop in the game. Like, if you wanted to bunny hop, it would not happen. You get one hop and then one dead stop. You just would dead jump. It would not be allowing you to do a second jump in a row to go further. You could only do it once, and sometimes that wasn't so good. I would try to bunny hop in and out of the way of AI, and I'd get absolutely eviscerated. All in all, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022 was a solid game. I'm not going to say this was anything groundbreaking, in all honesty. Even though I had no problems with the story or not many problems at all with the gameplay, it still, was lacking something. But it wasn't like something so big that made the game bad. This was interesting. It wasn't boring in the slightest, and I actually had fun playing it. A real step up from most of the other games. And the fact that there was no glitches is probably the best part, which is kind of sad. That having close to 0 glitches is a good thing. But I just had to point that out because most of Call of Duty or Activision's games as a whole end up having so many glitches that it makes sometimes the game just super unplayable. But the campaign, I only ran into like one glitch, literally only ran into one glitch, which was fine actually. So that's gonna do it for this review. I thought this game deserved a 8 out of 10 because it was solid gameplay, no real problems with it. Wasn't the craziest thing, it didn't keep me gripped in forever and ever, but it still wasn't a bad game either. And with that being said, make sure you guys like and subscribe because like I said before, this took me a while to get done because I had to not only beat the game, but make sure I was getting all my facts straight. But that's being said, guys, this is God's Here Gaming signing out, and go pre-order Modern Warfare 2, or don't, wait until the multiplayer comes out. That's probably a better idea. Don't be like me. And goodbye. God's Here signing out. Stay God's Here.